today I'm going to show you how to make this stitch. It's a beautiful stitch, as you can see. It's better that you do it with two colors than with one color, because with two colors it comes out better. As I told you, it's not difficult to make. Hope that you understand what I will be doing and that you try it. For this pattern you need to have a Tunisian crochet hook like this one. As you can see from here, it's a hook like the others, and from here is like the needle, the knitting needle, because the stitches you have to put them on the hook here, over here. So you need to have a hook like this one. So we start by making chains. Chains you make depending on how large the project is going to be. There is no multiple of how many chains you have to make. Only you make chains how much, depending on the project, how large it's going to be. Now, we're going to skip the first chain here. We go in the second one, and we pull a stitch and we leave it on the hook, like this. We have to do like this. In every chain that we have, you put the hook like this and pull up a stitch and leave it there. Go to the next chain and pull a stitch like that. Go to the other and pull another stitch. Go to the other and pull, and you continue doing that in all chains that you have. As you can see, we have the stitches on the hook. Now we're going to slip two at a time. You turn the thread on the hook and you slip two stitches at a time. Those are the first two. You do the second one, you slip another two, you take the other one, you slip the other two, and you continue all the row like that, slipping two stitches at a time until you have left the last two stitches. When we arrive at the last two stitches, I will show you what you have to do. Now, as I told you, we have the last two stitches here on the hook, and I'm going to start using another yarn, and I'm going to slip these two stitches with the other yarn, like this. I finished it with the other yarn. Now I'm going to start with a chain. The other yarn you leave it here, don't cut it. We go to the first one and we pull up a stitch. We go to the second one and we pull up a stitch. So those are three. You have three in the beginning there. Now you turn the thread on the hook like this, and you make another stitch in the same one, in the last one that you made, in the same one here, and you pull up a stitch, as I told you, in the same one that you made. Now we're going to slip these two stitches together. We slip them together like this, 1 and 2. We turn the thread again and we're going to slip another 2 like this. Now we go to the next one and we pull up a stitch. We go to the other one, we have to make 2, and we pull up a stitch like this. Now again, we turn the thread on the hook, we go in the same place where we did the other one, and we pull up a stitch. Now we're going to slip the first 2 here. Turn the thread again and slip the other 2. And that is the other one. Again, we go to the next stitch. We pull up a stitch. We go to the other one and we pull up another stitch. We turn the thread on the hook like this, and in the same place where we made the last one, we pull up another stitch. Now we're going to skip the first 2 here. We slip them. The first 2. We turn again the thread and we slip the other 2. And you continue all the row like that. Now I go to the next one I pull up a stitch. I pull up, as I told you, I pull up a stitch. I go to the other one. I pull up another stitch. I turn the thread on the hook like this. Another stitch in the same place where I did the other one. Now I'm going to slip the first two. Sorry, that is one, that is two. I turn the thread, pull up a stitch. Now I slip the first two. Turn the thread again and I slip the other two. And you continue all the row like that until you have remaining there 3 stitches, the last 3 stitches, until you have the last 3 stitches. Now as you can see, we have arrived here. We have 1, 2 stitches and the one where we made the chains. So we're going to make 1 stitch, we pull it up. Now this one, we go in this one and in the chains here, and we pull up a stitch together. So here we started with 2 here, with 2, and we finished with 2. Now we're going to go back again and we're going to do the same like we did before. We're going to slip 2 stitches at a time. Continue slipping 2 stitches at a time until you arrived at the last 2. Then I show you what to do with the last 2. As you have seen, we have the last 2 stitches here. We take the white, the other color here, the first one, and we finish with the white, because then we're going to use the next row the white. So you slip them with the white. Now we start the next row. We start with a chain. We go in the first one here and we pull up a stitch. We go in the second one here and we pull up a stitch. We go in the next one and we pull up a stitch. As you can see here, we have 4 now in the beginning. The other row we had 3 in the beginning. Now we have 4 here. We turn the thread on the hook. We go in the same place of the last one and we pull up a stitch. Now we're going to slip 2 at a time. The first 2 and the second 2. Now we do the same. We go here, pull up a stitch. We have to have 2 now. The other one, and we pull up a stitch, 2. Now we turn the thread on the hook in the same place of the last one. We pull up a stitch, then we slip 2 and then we slip the other 2. Again we go in the next one, we pull up a stitch, we go in the other one, we pull up a stitch, we turn the thread on the hook in the same place, we pull up another stitch, then we slip 2 and another 2. And you continue all the row like this until you arrive here. You have the last 3. This one, 1, 2, and here the chain. These 3, you don't work them, you leave them out, and I show you how to finish it. We arrived at the edge, as you have seen. So we go here, we pull up a stitch, we go here, we pull up another stitch, and we go in the chains here and we pull up a stitch. So here we have 3 at the edge and we started with 3. Now we do the same. We slip 2 stitches at a time until we arrive at the last 2 stitches. You continue slipping 2 stitches at a time until we arrive at the last 2 stitches. We arrived at the last 2. We take the other color, this one, and we finish the last 2 with this color, because now we're going to start with this color again. Now we're going to repeat this row here. We start with a chain. We go to the next one, we pull up a stitch. We go to the other one, we pull up a stitch. So now we have to have 3. In this we have 3 here. This one we had 4. Now again we have 3. We turn the thread on the hook. Again in the same place, pull up a stitch. We slip 2. And we slip another 2. And you continue like this. We go to the next one here. Pull up a stitch. We go to the other one, pull up a stitch, turn the thread, you go in the same place as the last one, pull up a thread, we slip 2 together, turn the thread, and we slip another 2. And you continue all the row like this one, like we did this one. We arrived here at the edge and we do like we did before, here. Like we did in the row where we did the blue one. We go in this one, we pull up a stitch. Now we go in this one and we go in the chains here and we pull up a stitch together. So we have finished with 2 stitches and we started with 2 stitches. And again you slip 2 stitches all the time together, until you arrived at the last 2, and the last 2 you slip them with the white. You continue like this. We're going to start the next row. Now we're going to do the white one. We start with a chain. We go in the first one. We go in the other one. We have to have 4 on the needle now. We have 4, as you can see. You turn the thread on the hook. You do a stitch in the same place of the last one. Now we slip the first 2 together and we slip the other 2. Again we do 2, 1 and 2. You go in the next one and you continue the row like we did this one. You do 2, then you turn the thread on the hook like this. You go in the same place and the last one you pull up a stitch in the same place of the last one. You slip 2 and you slip another 2, and you continue all the row like this. As you can see, we have arrived here at the edge, 1, 2, and the chains. So we do 1, 2, and we do another one in the chains, and those are 3. We started with 3 here, we finished with 3 here. And you continue the pattern like that. You're always repeating these rows that I showed you. And this is the final result, how the stitch comes. As you have seen, it was not difficult to make. Hope that you understood what I was doing and that you try it. Bye for now.